What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Loose Ends Fantasy Football Podcast, an average fantasy football podcast for who? Monty?
Oh, your average fantasy players.
And who's it by, Tyler?
Just a bunch of chuckleheads.
Average fantasy
Less than
players.
average players.
Ourselves. Absolutely. Today we have a special guest with us, but we are doing a very, very fun episode. We're all very excited about. We're doing a hot takes episode. We're going to do a couple of things. We're going to do some mild takes, some things we think that are going to happen going forward this year. Could be good things, could be bad things. We're going to do some spicy takes, that let's see kind of what happens based on some situations. And we're going to do some super spicy takes, which is basically just some things that we think could happen, but probably won't. But it'll be fun to see at the end of the season. But before anything, introductions are in order. Y'all know me, your host, your current reigning, undisputed, drunk in draft Dynasty League champion. Don't worry, I'll pull the belt out for y'all this week. Oh my
Put it down.
She's so... It is a beautiful, beautiful thing to be champion. With me today, I have my two co-hosts. I want to welcome Montavious. First and foremost, welcome, as he is now joining us pretty regularly on this panel. But one of my best friends on the entire planet, JJ. Introduce yourself to the folks at home.
What's going on, everybody? It's good to see you back. If you're joining us for the first time, we're happy to have you. I'm going to give you some really hot takes. Get your hot takes today. Hot takes. Other than that, happy to have you. Can't wait. Thanks for joining us.
Montavious, tell the people.
It's Montavious, Monty, Raider Nation representative, also the undisputed reigning toilet bowl champion of the league.
That means
Beer
he's
Mile
bad at
survivor.
this. Yeah,
Beer Meyer survivor, all that. God damn.
But today, we have a former league member and new commissioner of his own league, a man on the come up, one of our best friends, old Ty Ty himself. But I'm going to let him tell y'all a little bit about him. So go ahead, Ty Ty. Tell the people at home.
All right, yeah, I'm Ty Ty, aka Big Dumper, aka BD, aka runner-up in my own league that I started, which hurts more than anything. Representing the Nasty Natty out here today with my Joey B jersey on. I'm ready to talk hot takes, man. You know I'm full of them. Let's do this.
Yes.
Absolutely. Before we do anything,
Yes.
y'all know what we got to do. Joey, hit that motherfucking intro. All right, we're going to jump right into things with a beer with the boys. Y'all know we got a new guy with us. We got a special guest, so we got to do a beer with the boys, and we're going to kick things off hot today with Montavious. You're going to be a new member on the panel. You're going to show us how it's done. What beer you got with us today, and hit us with a player comparison.
I got me my brother put me on, but this beer's
Ooh.
called
Oh, shit.
Happy Dad.
Oh, I love those.
The Death Row Records edition.
Let's go.
Is that purple?
Why is it great, bro?
Purple drink,
Why is it
whatever you
great?
want to call
That
it.
perp.
It's great, that purple drink. And my player comparison for Happy Dad is I'm going to go Devontae Adams.
Ooh.
Is it because
who's
he's super
expecting his
unhappy?
God.
Hey, Death Row Records, Raider Nation,
Yes.
all that. He's about to be a dad, all that. So Devontae Adams is my player comparison for Happy Dad.
Okay, we like that. JJ, why don't you kick us off with yours?
Okay. To be perfectly honest with you, I have not come up with a player comparison for this beer yet.
It's all about the taste,
But-
baby.
On the spot, drink
Let
it.
the taste
Here's what
tell
we're
you.
drinking.
First one that comes to
today.
first one that comes to your head.
So I'm drinking a Figueroa Mountain Central Brewing Company, Coast, California. Point Conception, California IPA. It's 7.2%. It's pretty smooth, actually. I like it a lot. Unexpectedly, I like it more and thought it wasn't going to be that good, but it's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So I'm going to go with Sam Laporta.
Ooh, okay.
You know, it wasn't like a first round pick or anything, but ended up being the number 1 tight end for fantasy last year. And he's pretty fucking tasty. Crisp routes, nice solid hands. The man's open all day. Hope he has another great season this year too. But yeah, that's my player comparison for this year. This
Love
year.
it. I, in honor of our special guest being with us today, I went with a Truly's because he is a
It's
seltzer
unruly.
man. But I went with the unruly because you know my boy Tata gets a little wild. We went with the strawberry smash. It is an 8%. My player comparison, just like Ty is a white boy, we are going with Cooper Cup. Let me tell y'all why. Cooper Cup is great at what he does, but it's basic. It's bland. There's nothing flashy about it, but it gets the job done, right? An 8% goes down smooth. You can do it, you know, at a party, you can do it for dinner, you can do it, you know, drinking games, whatever the case is, kind of works all over the field like Cooper Cup does. But there's just nothing real special about how it happens. You love to see the statistics, but that's just kind of where I'm at with it. That's why that's my player comparison.
It'll get the triple crown. All that.
Oh yeah.
Happened one time, and then what happened? Anyway, Ty.
All right. Yeah. So I'm
the honored guest.
I'm a little unorthodox with it because, as you know, I don't really drink beer. So tonight, my beer with the boys is actually a homemade skinny margarita because I'm not out here drinking those calories.
Skinny Marg.
Yeah. So what's in this is I think it's Casamigos Reposado,
Ooh.
some
Nice.
Casamigos spread of fruit.
fresh
Never
lime
mind.
juice, some agave, and some soda water. It's very refined. It's healthy, and it'll come through in the clutch, and it'll get you real messed up. So my player comparison on this is
Fuck, you can cuss on this.
fuck, yeah, it'll get you real fucked up. So my player comparison has to be Joe Burrow. It's refined. It's smooth. It's probably 40% alcohol. It's just tequila in there, if I'm being honest with you guys. And it'll come through in the clutch. You know it will. Margarita will never let you down.
That is not the player I thought you were going to go with when you went skinny margarita.
Dude, you were bringing up shit before we started recording. That is not where I thought you were going at all.
Well, you know, originally it was going to be Darren Sharper because it'll hit you like a fucking freight train. But then I found out he rapes people, so I'm not about that.
Neither are we
That's
here
good.
at Loose End.
We do not support Darren Sharper's
supports
antics.
Darren Sharper. Wait,
I
you're
thought
really
you were
quiet over
gonna-
there. You're really quiet, Monty.
I thought you were going to go with Jamar Chase because you said a skinny margarita, and it seems like the offensive coordinators in Cincinnati only know how to run him on skinny posts. It doesn't seem like they know how to do anything else with him. So
Hey,
I thought
comebacks,
for sure.
back shoulder fade, comeback routes. Come on,
Sure.
what are you talking about?
Sure. Anyway, let's get into it. Before we do, sorry, my executive producer wanted me to point out the new layout. So if you guys are watching in on the YouTube channel, right, if you're listening on Spotify, I hope everything sounds crispy and clear. But if you're watching on the YouTube channel, we have a new layout. You know, we're moving up in the world, looking a little professional. We're average fantasy football players, but we're getting to be a little more than average fantasy podcast hosts. So
Did we do a cheers?
we are about to. Good call.
Come on.
Cheers to the
Cheers.
executive
Sorry.
producer.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah, to Skinny Margs everywhere and Joe
Skinny
Burrow.
Marbs and purple drink.
Cool Joe. I know. Actually, I just wanted to ask you really quick. Have you guys had the seltzers that Dre and Snoop came out with?
Yes, they are very good.
No.
Oh
what's
my
the-
God, they're so good.
What's the brand?
I think it's called Gin and Juice.
It is called gin and
Oh.
juice.
Yeah,
I'm not,
dude,
not a gin man.
they're really good actually.
Okay, I'll try it. I'll
No,
check it out.
they're pretty good. You can't really tell that it's gin, but
All right. Hot takes. I'm going to kick things off. Because we have a Steelers fan in our midst. One of my
Hi.
best friends. My first hot take of the show is that
Here we go.
the Steelers have their first losing season since 2003. I think they finished 8-9. I don't think it's a bad season. I think they finished 8-9. They continue their search for their franchise QB1. I don't believe in Russell Wilson. I don't think allowing Justin Fields to take over mid-season is going to bring him in an accurate form to lead them to enough wins to be a winning team this year. Now, don't get me wrong. Mike Tomlin is a genius. We all know this. And I think the defense is going to be stout, but I just don't believe in the QB play here. That's going to allow them to have more wins than losses. That is my first mild take. Anything from the peanut
Mild.
gallery?
Heating up.
Hey, we setting it off right today.
Woo-hoo. Can I go first? Listen. No. They're not going to have a losing season.
Are you
Are
throwing
you
a
fucking
challenge
kidding
flag?
me?
Are you throwing the challenge flag right now?
Yes, I am.
Okay, we're throwing the challenge. There it is. All
Throw
right,
that
we're throwing
bitch.
it.
All right.
Tell me about it.
Let me just. If you haven't been watching the Steelers for the last 4 years since Ben left, it's been a fucking disaster. And somehow they managed to still get to that 500 mark. So now you're telling me they don't have the quarterback? They never had the motherfucking quarterback play. These are two of the best quarterbacks we've had since Ben left. So yeah, I do feel like they're gonna have a better season, and we've had not 10-7. I think they get better, not worse. That's all I want to say.
Interesting. Montavious, any
That's
thoughts?
a good challenge flag. I feel like that's a solid argument.
Oh, thank
Solid
you.
challenge flag. Like they've only gotten better. They've only improved from Kenny Smallhands.
Dude.
So I don't see how they.
And Mason Rudolph.
Yeah.
You know?
See, I think a big thing that we're missing here is Russ plays the best when he's playing off script, and Mike Tomlin is a very on script coach. Like Ben Roethlisberger did his thing, and Russell Wilson is not nearly the quarterback that I think Ben Roethlisberger was back then. So you put Russell Wilson in a backfield where the running back room just got a year older. Najee might have his best year, might have his worst year. So
I said
yeah,
that. Yeah.
like we have no idea what's going on there. They lose Deontay Johnson, so I think that losing one more game than they did last year, right? They went 9-8 last year.
No, they
Losing,
went 10-7.
they went 10-7 last year.
Yeah.
I'm all over the place then. I think 8-9, 9-8 is a very reasonable expectation, but I don't think I couldn't throw a challenge flag on Blake's take. That team failed upward so much last year.
For me specifically, when we're talking quarterback play, we're not talking about Russell Wilson, top 3 QB anymore. We're talking about two quarterbacks who aren't winning quarterbacks.
They got
Justin
him off the
Fields was
street
not
for
a
a
winning
reason.
quarterback. Right. Russell Wilson was not a winning quarterback. I mean, go look Denver's record. I mean, you can go look. They were just not winning quarterbacks. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to come in there and be utter disasters. I don't see that happening. I think if the Steelers do go above 500, it's going to be a 9-8. I don't think they're going to blow this record out of the water, but I think that this might be their first losing season since 2003. That's my hot take.
So, all right. I made my argument against it, but to kind of support what you're saying, their schedule at the end of the season with conference play is ridiculous to me. Dude, it's like Browns, Ravens, Chiefs, Eagles, Ravens, Browns. It's like it's going to be fucking awful. So I can see them struggling at the end of the season, but we'll see. Hopefully everybody's healthy by then.
Love that. I appreciate the support. Go ahead and pick that challenge flag up. JJ, let's jump into your first mild take.
Okay, my first take is Patrick Mahomes. This isn't really that hot, but he gonna rebound. He's due for a rebound season. I think he could potentially get back to the MVP caliber play that we saw just a few years ago. Can he get back to 50 passing touchdowns? Sounds like a lot, but with this receiving core that he has and Travis Kelce in one of his potentially last seasons ever, yeah, I think he could do it. So I don't think there's a better time than right now.
Did they say how long Hollywood Brown's going to be out for with his dislocated collarbone?
When did that happen? Did
In the
that just happen?
preseason game, yeah, it just happened.
Yeah,
Like yesterday.
Yeah, it just happened.
Oh, that's good news. I wasn't aware of that, actually.
Yeah. So we got Rashee Rice. He's got court in December, so that's probably not going to happen this year. So you have
Yeah.
Rashee Rice all year. Xavier Worthy is a complete unknown in the NFL. This is a challenge flag argument, by the way. I was doing this, but I didn't say challenge flag.
Yeah.
We don't know what Xavier Worthy is besides a deep ball threat. He's not Tyreek, I can tell you that. Maybe in 5 years he could be some shadow of Tyreek, but we know he's not Tyreek. So
Okay.
Yeah, if he gets in the gym.
okay, yeah,
This dude's
exactly.
skinny
He's
as
like
hell.
what, 165 pounds? That dude's tiny.
Yes.
So we know Travis Kelce's going to be Travis Kelce. Travis Kelce could be Travis Kelce at 65 years old, no doubt about that. But to say Mahomes even has a hope of hitting 50 passing touchdowns this year, I think that deserves to be in tier 3 spicy takes.
Oh, wow. I thought it was a mild take.
I think it's a mild take as well. We're talking about Patrick Mahomes here, my guy.
Yeah.
I do not care who is on the field. We're talking about a dude who wins games. We just got off of an argument about dudes who do not know how to win games. This is a dude who knows how to win games at a high level. I don't care if he has Marquez Valdez-Scantling out there. The dude's still winning games, and we've seen it with that exact player. Now, I'm not saying these receivers are going to be super fantasy relevant, but Patrick Mahomes does Patrick Mahomes things. It's Patrick Mahomes magic for a reason.
The Chiefs could go 17-0 this year.
thing.
Mahomes isn't eclipsing 40 passing touchdowns.
Clip it. Clip it. I love the take, JJ. I love it. We're going to move right into Montavious. What's your first mild take for us, big guy?
My first take is about not Diggs, not Nico Collins, but Tank Dell. I don't think he finishes as the 3 or the 2. I think he's going to finish as the number 1 wide receiver on the Texans this season. Dude just knows how to get open. CJ knows how to find them. Their chemistry is amazing. I think they're going to be a threat for a long time. So my take is that Tank Dell's going to be the number 1 receiver on the Texans.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question before Blake challenges? What do you?
Go ahead.
Can you say what you think their yardage totals are going to be? Like all 3 receivers in order, like just a rough, like 1,200, 1,100, 1,000, whatever. Like all 3 of those receivers.
No, but I could say no. I can't do that.
How close
but
do you think it
is? Tank Dell hits over 12 and gets over 10 touchdowns.
Okay. All right, Blake. Sorry. Go ahead.
How many slot receivers, predominant slot receivers, are the WR1 on their team?
Tank Dell.
Go ahead for the peanut gallery.
I'm thinking. I got to think through every team now.
Oh.
JJ. Talk about
JJ
that.
plays in the slot. Not all the time, but he plays in the slot a lot.
You're talking about like just true slots, right? Not people who play there sometimes.
Right. Okay. A Triple Crown winner, which we pointed out earlier. Okay.
Well, I want to say Chris Godwin, but he's not the one there.
Yeah.
Right.
He's a really good slot receiver.
He wasn't
Christian
even a slot last year. He got forced out of the slot last year. That was a big issue with him.
Yeah, and he was still had 1,000 receiving yards.
Yeah. Christian Kirk's a good
saying
one.
they're going to put him back there. That's a good one.
Christian Kirk was, so.
Jerry Jeudy last year, wasn't he a slot guy?
Oh, yeah, that's a great guy to bring up.
They tried him all over the place.
But Cortland Sutton ended up being the WR1 on that team anyway. So.
Oh, got it. Okay, I rest my case. The defense rests. I'll take my winnings whenever.
Yeah, but, okay, I don't agree with his hot take. I don't agree with it. But you have to give him the defense of what's stopping Tank Dell from becoming Cooper Kupp, right? You said it earlier in the episode. You said it, no, Blake, you said it earlier in the episode. You said he doesn't do anything flashy. He doesn't do anything special. He just does what he needs to do, and it works. Tank Dell is faster. He's quicker. What's to say he can't learn to run routes the way that Cooper Kupp does?
He said it in the very beginning of his hot take. Stephon Diggs and Nico Collins. Cooper Kupp didn't have either one of those on the field at the same time as him. He didn't have Joe Mixon in the backfield. He didn't have there's too many weapons on the field for him to be a Cooper Kupp type player. It's just not happening. That's my argument.
Clip it, because if Tank Dell does it, I'm coming back to this shit and I'm going crazy.
Clip it.
Wait, weren't Tank Dell and CJ were college teammates, right?
No, CJ, the
No.
Tank coming out of college, said draft this man.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they just have a good connection. It's not that they actually
Yeah.
played together. Okay,
They're just bestest buds.
I think the
Homie.
connection's there. I'm
Kinda
with
like
Monty
us.
on this one.
Thank you,
I think
Jacob.
that he's going to be the number one. I mean, we saw it already in the first preseason game. Didn't he throw a touchdown to Tank?
He only threw 2 passes. One of them was for a tutty to Tank Dell.
Also, Tank
Yeah.
is returning kicks and punts, I think. So you have to
Well,
factor
that
in
okay. That kind of
fantasy-wise.
yeah. That concerns me though a little bit because that puts him at risk for more injury. I feel.
I don't think
New
they'll do
kick
that for
return
long if
rules,
they
man.
are doing that
I don't think
seriously.
I'm too worried about injuries on the new kick returns. Punt returns, I'm worried about, but kick returns,
Love it.
I'm not.
We have.
I
to
mean, you
jump
said punt
into-
returns. That's what I'm concerned about. Yes, I don't
We
have
have
as
to-
much concern about the new kick return, but the punt returns are what scares me. And
Uh,
obviously, Tank Dell is kind of small, so it just like scares me overall that he's going to get hurt. That is
Yeah, I don't
the
see
one
them
thing
doing
that I
for
would
real.
say.
After his injury already, during special teams already, so I don't see them doing that for real.
Ty. Mild take 1.
All right, my
Send
mild take is that the Broncos will be the worst team in the NFL this season.
Oh, worst team in the
Yeah,
NFL.
number one
Okay.
overall pick, Denver
Wow.
Broncos.
Ooh.
And if you want, I can start listing all my reasons, but I would really like for somebody to throw the challenge flag first.
I don't have a challenge play.
I hate the Broncos, so I'm not
I
gonna
don't
throw it.
like.
All
it.
right, then I'll just dive into my logic just so we can flush out the segment, huh? All right, so they lose
Good.
Russ, they lose Justin Simmons, they lose Josie Jewell, who they signed Cody Barton to replace him, so I'll call that a wash. And the biggest loss was Lloyd Cushenberry, their center. They had the number 7 offensive line in the league last year, and you lose a top 3 center in the NFL. That's the heart and soul of your offensive line, and they're replacing him with fucking who? Some guy that they say is ready to start, but fucking Zach Wilson was ready to start in the NFL too. And they draft Bo Nix and Troy Franklin. They lose Jerry Jeudy. You're gonna tell me day one, Troy Franklin's gonna come in and be better than Jerry Jeudy. You're gonna tell me day one, Bo Nix is gonna come in and be better than Russell Wilson. They had the 12th overall pick in the draft. I think that everything lines up perfectly for the Broncos to suck. Bo Nix struggles under pressure. If their offensive line gets worse, Bo Nix is going to struggle. That's pretty much.
I like it.
I'm with it. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I was
I
on the
like
same
it.
Yeah,
boat.
fuck the
Fuck
Broncos.
the Broncos.
Fuck the Broncos.
Yeah.
And they had the 5th
Let's
worst scoring defense in the NFL last year, and they lose a top 5 safety. Like, who's going to defend over the top now?
We are going into our spicy takes.
Yeah. Talk about Miles. That shit's crazy.
Even
What the fuck is that?
though Tyler's already spicy about the Broncos, we are going to jump into some spicier takes here, boys. My first spicy take, I think Dontavian Wicks leads Green Bay in receiving yards. And I love the fact that Montavious already gave you the best argument that I'll ever need. Preseason, 1 pass, 60-plus yard tutty from Jordan Love. I guess that's the only argument we need because the connection's there. We saw it all last season, and I've been high on Dontavian Wicks for a good minute.
I'm
I've
glad
been
you
talking
said
about him as
that.
my sleeper,
High. You're high.
as my
Yeah.
breakout player, and I think he's gonna pop. That first play bomb was there. It was the same exact play that Christian Watson dropped his bomb. I mean, we have the opportunity there for him. They teased it last year, and I think we see that blossom this year. I'm excited for it.
I'm gonna throw a
Jesse, go ahead and
challenge
hit me
flag.
with your Romeo Dobbs analysis here, because I know where that's coming from.
I was also going to throw the challenge flag, Tyler, so I appreciate you doing that. I'm plugged into training camp, and I'm hearing that the only real connection that Jordan Love has with any of his receivers is with Romeo Dobbs. And I believe it. May not have shown that, but why are you going to show everything the first week of preseason? You wouldn't. So I think the true weapon there is Romeo.
Yeah,
And
if we're
that's
talking,
really all I had to say.
he got a long touchdown catch. How many 60-plus yard touchdown catches did Christian Watson have last year with the same quarterback?
I was strictly utilizing that as an argument because that was the argument for Tank Dell being relevant.
Okay. Because
One
you have
catch, one tutty.
He was relevant last year before his
One
Yeah, but
catch,
got
one
injured.
tutty is suddenly the argument.
Jaden Reed, you have Romeo Dobbs, you have Christian Watson, you have Dontavian Wicks, you have Josh Jacobs in the backfield now. Like, what do you? Again, same question for you. How many yards do you think he puts up this year? Because if we're talking
So
600 and he leads the wide receiver room, okay, maybe I can. That's spicy.
that is exactly the argument that I have. I think that wide receiver room is so crowded, and Jordan Love, in that offense specifically, is spreading the ball so well. Not only just with those guys, but you have Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft and those guys there that they're spreading the ball so much. I don't think any one of those receivers is going to eclipse 1,000 yards. I think he leads that receiving room with like 700 yards.
That's spicy, and I can't argue it because I think you're right. It's really muddy, and I think it's just gonna be a shit show trying to guess who to start each week in Green Bay.
I think it's going to be a great receiving core. I think they're going to have an awesome offense. I'm not going to jump and say, top 5 offense, but I think they're going to have a solid offense. I just don't think anybody's going to emerge as like the clear number one. I think Dontavian Wicks finishes as the WR1 there. Fuck Romeo Dobbs.
Monty?
Go ahead, Monty.
I mean, I agree on both. I see both sides, but yeah, it's crowded. I mean, JJ, I think you got Dobbs. I got Reed.
I was just going to bring
You
up
used
Reed.
to have Wicks. It's crowded. So my only argument was, or not even an argument. The only question I had was, whose spot is he taking?
As far as what?
So who was the leading receiver last year?
I think his
Essentially, is that
question's
what you're
more
asking?
like what position on the field. Like, is he taking Reed, Dobbs, or Christian Watson's
Yeah.
spot on the field in 3 wide receiver sets?
That's a good question. Okay, I got
They
you.
rotate too much. So I think you're gonna Christian Watson more than likely. I don't think Christian Watson solidified on the field as a 70+% down guy. Jaden Reed, it's hard to replace him because he is a clear slot guy, and then Romeo Dobbs is clearly the better receiver between him and Christian Watson.
Yeah, is Dontavian Wicks primarily an outside receiver? I am relatively unfamiliar with his game, so
Okay.
Be curious to see. But let's jump right into number 2. Okay. We're doing spicy takes here. JJ, we're jumping into your second spicy take.
Ooh, spicy. Shit, where is it? Oh, here we go. Ooh, okay. So I got a couple here. Can I just rattle them off?
Send them.
All right. Let me just get through these, and then you guys can talk shit about it later. Treylon Burks has a breakout season and sustains himself as the wide receiver 2 in Tennessee. Anthony Richardson finishes the season as quarterback 5 or better. Isaiah Pacheco and Kenneth Walker both break into the top 10 running backs. Pat Freiermuth will finish as tight end 5 or better, and George Pickens will have 100+ receptions. Those are my spicy takes, bitch. What do you got to say?
Okay, I'm gonna rattle off my answers to those because we're gonna rattle them off quick so we can keep it moving. Treylon Burks, WR2. I don't know who else would be the WR2 there, and I think that Will Levis is gonna throw the ball a lot. I don't think he has a breakout year by any means. It's hard to hear a WR2 have a breakout season, but okay, I'm with it. I agree. He'll be the WR2.
Is that
there.
right?
When it comes to Isaiah Pacheco and Kenneth Walker, I think Isaiah Pacheco is a top 10 running back this year. I don't believe in Kenneth Walker being a top 10 running back. I think that offense is going to be in shambles, and I think a lot of people are
in Seattle.
Yeah, I don't see them getting it together, but we'll see. I like that Washington coordinator, so we'll see what he can do with it. George Pickens, I already told you I agree. I think he's a monster. I think he's a dog. I hope he has 100+ receptions. 100+ receptions is a lot, but I mean, tough. We'll see what happens. Give me 4 and 5.
Oh, you missed Anthony Richardson.
Oh, we are. Yeah, previous
and
episodes.
Pat Freiermuth.
Yeah, previous episodes we talked about Anthony Richardson. The statistics are there for him to be a top 5 quarterback if he stays healthy all year. I agree with that take as well. Pat Freiermuth, I don't know. It's hard to hear Pat Freiermuth top 5 tight end and George Pickens 100+ receptions in the same same, conversation. But who knows? I mean, could very well happen if
I'm glad you
he
said that,
stays healthy.
Blake, because I want to touch on his mild take into his spicy take. So you're saying you think Mahomes can get 50 plus passing touchdowns and Isaiah Pacheco can break into the top 10 in the same season?
Absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
I would, that's something I wish I would have known this take before the episode started because I would have done some research on. I'm trying to think besides like the Peyton Manning Broncos, how many times a number one overall quarterback has thrown for like over 45 passing touchdowns and had a RB1 supporting him.
Well,
You guys
I
see where I'm
imagine
coming
the
from?
reason why I said that, yeah, I understand where you're coming from. The reason why I think a lot of the touchdown passes that Patrick's going to have are going to be to Isaiah Pacheco.
Is Jarrett McKinnon still there? They still
No,
rocking
he's
that
gone.
dude?
He's
Oh,
gone, dude.
oh, dude. Okay,
Jarek's
okay.
fucking gone.
Jarrett's gone, dude.
It's Isaiah's backfield now, and I am so excited for it. I think a
Turn
lot
up,
of people
Jesse.
are. Sorry, I'm a little fired up about this.
Good.
A lot of people are catching on now, and I'm like, dude, I've been plugged in. At the end of the last season, I was talking to Monty like immediately. I was like, hey man, I really like this guy. He's a 5th round pick. Kind of came out of nowhere, but this guy on Andy Reid's offense, yeah, oh yeah, that dude's going to be catching the ball like Jarrett McKinnon was last year. Where was Jarrett McKinnon in points last year, as far as fantasy is concerned? Let's see.
I don't know. He almost
That
carried me to the
and-
playoffs in y'all's league that one season.
This dude only had 86 or 84 points last year.
We all
He
know
had
that
4
Andy
receiving
Reid
touchdowns.
loves the screenplay as well. So
Yeah, and that's where I think Isaiah is going to get a lot more play. And I think I've already seen a couple trick plays coming out of training camp where Travis Kelce's tossing a lateral to Isaiah Pacheco. So he's on the field, dude. He's fucking dangerous. Sorry,
Okay.
that's all.
Can
love
you?
it.
So there was one other one that I had issue. Oh, the Traylon Burks one. I'm not even gonna throw a challenge flag because like, who else? Like Tennessee's irrelevant. Like even if you're the WR2 on Tennessee, I feel like that comes out the real life bottom end WR3, WR4. We're talking like
So I'm going to say
WR55 overall.
who? Traylon?
Yeah, Traylon Burks.
Like
if
where
has,
he finishes?
Yeah, like where are you putting him like overall
No,
rankings?
yeah. I think I put him anywhere from 35 to 40, like wide receiver 35 to 40.
So is that a
range
breakout?
as a good wide receiver too. Yeah, compared to last season, yeah, I think that's a breakout for him.
Okay, and then I can't. Yeah, I'm not.
I mean, what are we judging breakouts on? What are our metrics for breakouts?
I mean, I think a breakout. I mean, you can have an individual breakout, sure, but I feel like in these words,
dude scored 39 points last year.
Yeah, I guess you
and played 11 games.
But if Nico Collins put up, I don't know, 100 points last year, nobody would be saying that was his breakout season. Like
this,
you would fade Nico Collins if he only scored 100 points last year. But because Nico Collins was
in 2023,
yeah, it was his 3rd season. If Nico Collins put up less than 100 points overall, nobody would be talking about it right now.
Right, and that's kind of where I see Traylon kind of following that path, where he becomes like a Nico.
Okay.
Because it was between Nico and Tank in Houston, right? Before Tank got hurt. Okay.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, that's just kind of where I think. And also to say, like, there's no one there. DeAndre Hopkins and Calvin Ridley are there. And Chigo Okonkwo is the tight end. There's some weapons there. I think
the ghost
Titans
of
are going to be a
DeAndre
sneaky
Hopkins.
team.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll take a ghost. That can catch passes.
Well, the ghost of AJ Green did all right in Arizona, so.
All right.
He did okay. He did okay. It was
We
disappointing.
have to move into
Sorry.
Montavious' spicy take.
Bro, are these spicy or these like intergalactic like fucking?
Oh, wait till we get to.
Wait till you see super spicy.
Ghost peppers.
Boy, your boy likes it spicy.
Bro, okay, so my next take is I believe he's a dog, but I think Malik Neighbors is going to be a non-factor this season.
Oh,
I think he doesn't eclipse 1,000 yards. Not because he's not amazing, not because he's not phenomenal or whatever term you want to use, but I think because of quarterback play, he's going to be a non-factor. He's going to be frustrated and all that good stuff. They didn't even look at him in preseason. Granted, they didn't look at MHJ either, but MHJ has Kyler Murray coming. Malik Neighbors has nobody. So,
Whoa. Danny Dimes.
all
All
right.
right.
I'm not challenging
All
this. I'll make it clear I'm not challenging this. Danny
I
Dimes
actually agree with this
hasn't
as
had
well.
a receiver. Like, when was the last time Danny Dimes had somebody worthwhile to throw
Sterling
to?
Shepard?
Darren Waller, I thought we said.
Okay. You mean famous rapper Darren Waller? Come on, let's talk about when was the last time Danny Dimes had a
Darren
legit
Waller, the
alpha
straight duck.
receiver?
Quack. Listen, Danny Dimes finished as a top 10 quarterback in 2022.
Who
But
was
how did he
Really?
do it?
who was that tight end that he was throwing to in
Running, I
2022?
think.
The white dude, the
Evan
white
Ingram?
tight end. No, the
Oh.
white dude.
Bellinger.
Yeah, Dan Bellinger, who had his eyeball like ripped out on the field. Yeah, he was having a good season, and then he got his eyeball ripped out. That was the last time Danny Dimes had a
Oh,
good
shit.
receiver.
Sterling
So, I mean,
Shepard?
I liked Darius Slayton, Wandale Robinson, like any of those guys.
where are those guys now?
Allen Robinson's on this team. Ugh.
Yeah, like
Gunnar Olowski.
you're naming a lot of irrelevant people. Great athletes.
I
We
know.
just named
Not
a lot of
WR1s.
people that people
Theo
listening
Johnson
in-
I think Theo Johnson is a viable receiving option, though.
People have been
Yeah.
trying to
Guys, can we
argue that
talk
the
about-
Giants. Go for it.
This is an average fantasy podcast for average fantasy players, and we just named a lot of people that these guys are going to have no clue who they are. Let's just
I better find out.
Exactly. That's the
Time to
point. So,
get on your Google.
hey, I will admit I have some stocks in Danny Dimes. And I hope that him
Poor
having
guy.
a legit alpha. Yeah, I hate it. I hate it. I hope him having a legit alpha puts him in that, I don't know, top 20 QB range, at least with his running upside. Like, but this is the point of this was Malik. I can't. I support your hot take. I don't think he's going to be relevant fantasy wise this year, but I'm interested to see how Danny Dimes performs with a legit alpha WR1 on his team.
I agree with that statement as well. I don't know if Malik Neighbors is going to be a 1,000-yard receiver this year. I just don't. I agree. I don't like the Giants' offense, but we'll see what happens. We are moving into our last spicy take with our special guest. Ty, hit us with your last, or excuse me, your the last spicy take.
Okay, so I feel like I'm coming out a little bit out of left field, so I'm going to phrase this a little bit differently in hopes that I don't get destroyed. JJ McCarthy and the Vikings offense cannot support a fantasy WR1.
I like this argument.
Which is now implying that Justin Jefferson will finish outside of the top 12 in fantasy this year. If he has a fully healthy season. We're granting it's a fully healthy season. In redraft, I'm fading Justin Jefferson at ADP. And I know that this is like dynasty and all this stuff. I'm fading Justin Jefferson at ADP.
So let's put it into dynasty perspective as let's say you're doing a dynasty startup.
Yeah, dynasty
Are you
startup,
not picking Justin Jefferson first?
I mean, how are you drafting, right? Like, are you Monty and you're going for the rebuild year one first pick? He's going for the rebuild. He knows he's trading everything for draft picks. Or are you trying to build a contender right off the bat, like what me and Blake were trying to do when we did our dynasty startup? Right. So if you're going into it rebuilding and you're drafting players that are injured, that are coming off of injured reserve, like if you're drafting Nick Chubb in your startup, draft Justin Jefferson in your startup. So, but if you're drafting to win now, win today, if you're drafting like the Stephon Diggs and the Cooper Kupps, then do not draft Justin Jefferson this year because he's not going to be the WR1 that you need to solidify that group.
I want to just focus on one thing here. You're telling me a fully healthy Justin Jefferson this year is going to finish outside of WR12?
Yes. Do you want to know why?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would.
Okay.
I want all the supporting evidence, and I want you to hit it right now.
Okay. Historically, rookie QBs drafted in the first round finish around wide receiver QB 23 to QB 29. Okay, fantasy wise. QB 23 to 29. If you don't mind, I have some notes here. Last year were Gardner Minshew, Josh Dobbs, Kirk Cousins, Joe Burrow / Jake Browning. They finished like 25, 26. Kyler Murray, AOC, and Kenny Pickett. Okay, and if you want to know
Kenny
how their wide
Smallhand.
receivers finished, yeah, tiny hands, Kenny Pickett. So if you want to know how their receivers finished, Devontae finished WR10. Jamar finished WR11, but he had Burrow throwing to him for half of the season. And then Michael Pittman finished WR13. And then you have WR23, WR24, WR30 as the number one receivers on there. So now you add to that, Devontae is the only receiver in his offense. Correct? Are we going to argue that? That's the only.
You don't like Jacoby?
I like Jacoby.
Yeah, I mean, you can like
I like
Jacoby,
Jacoby.
but
And they got
Devontae
two
is
young
Devontae.
tight ends now.
Right?
I'm
Now look at the
challenge
Vikings
flag
offense.
on the
You have
fact that you
Jordan
just said
Addison.
Devontae's alone.
You have Jordan Addison, you have TJ Hawkinson, you have Justin Jefferson, you have Aaron Jones. That offense has a ton of weapons in it. And on top of that, this is my secret sauce right here. Justin Jefferson, I think it's something over 30% of his routes that he was targeted on and had catches on are out routes. Justin Jefferson leads the NFL in targets and catches on out routes. Guess what JJ McCarthy's number one weakness is? Accuracy outside the numbers. In college, 27.1% of his outside of the numbers passes were uncatchable balls. I mean, lower that down. It's Justin Jefferson. Everything's catchable. Let's call it 23%. That's still absolutely insane. JJ McCarthy cannot throw the ball outside the numbers. Justin Jefferson loves to run outside the numbers.
I have a question for you really quick.
Yeah.
We brought it up last week on a show. I believe me and Monty, we talked about when we think JJ McCarthy is going to start. Do you think he starts immediately? Or are we going to be waiting a few weeks?
I don't think it's relevant. I think Sam Darnold's a trash quarterback. And I don't think he can support a WR1. I mean, I'm sure you could look historically if he's ever supported a WR1 in his career. But I don't think it matters who starts that's on the roster right now. There won't be a WR1 fantasy football wise on the Vikings come January.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I think we can all agree we could sit here and talk about this one for a hot minute. This has been a popular take, both sides. We are jumping into the super spicy takes. We are going to kick things off with my super spicy take. My super spicy take is Saquon Barkley, Offensive Player of the Year, potential MVP.
Ooh.
MVP. Ooh.
We said super spicy. Here's what I
Okay.
think. Here's what I think. I think they trust him at the goal line a lot more than they did with those previous running backs. And I think he's going to take some goal line tutties away from Jalen Hurts now that Jason Kelsey's gone. I don't know if the tush push is going to be super relevant. I think he's going to be a reception monster out of the backfield. All reports from 11-on-11s in training camp have said that he leads that team in receptions, just in 11-on-11s, obviously not in the season coming. And I think they utilize him in a true workhorse CMC style role where we're going to see the true potential of Saquon in an offense that's going to allow him to eat. I think there is Offensive Player of the Year coming in. That's what I think. Saquon Barkley.
I love that.
My challenge flag is only on the MVP part of that because you said it yourself. In a CMC like season, CMC didn't win the MVP even though he should have. The MVP is a QB award. Saquon's not winning MVP, and I'll put my life savings on that.
That's why I intentionally put potential MVP because even though he could get to numbers that I think he deserves it, I don't think that he wins the MVP just strictly based on the fact that it's a quarterback award.
Yeah, my only argument against that is the mouse to feed. Like you have Dallas Goedert, AJ Brown, Devonta Smith. Yeah, like Jalen Hurts is going to get his. Like I think there's a lot of mouths to feed there. So, but I like it. I like the take.
I personally think there's a lot less mouths to feed than what is actually like portrayed.
I mean, AJ Brown's going to get his. We've talked about AJ Brown.
We have an AJ Brown.
Yeah.
As much as I'm going to say something, you want to talk about some crazy takes. I would go as far as to compare. You just talked about Devontae and Jacoby Myers is like, Jacoby Myers is there. I think Devonta Smith is just there. Devonta Smith is the Jacoby Myers of the Eagles right now.
Yeah, but
You
I think if
have
AJ
AJ
Brown
he's
leaves,
gonna get his.
Devontae can fill a WR1 role. Jacoby Myers cannot. We saw it in New England. Like Jacoby Myers can't
That's
be
a
a
good point.
WR1. Devontae Smith won a Heisman. Like,
Yeah.
Mm.
And he is relevant.
We get it. We get it. You don't like Jacoby.
We get it. I don't know.
So I just want to point something out. I wanted to throw the challenge flag so bad, but I'm gonna hold it. I'm gonna agree with you because honestly, I would just love to see a running back win MVP. Running backs have won the NFL's Most Valuable Player award 16 times. So I don't think it's far fetched to imagine him winning the MVP. But this man's got to have like the numbers, right? Last year,
Sean Alexander, Adrian Peterson.
oh, do you want me to tell you who? Yeah.
Because
So
they're not
Marshall
recent.
Falk,
LT won it, didn't he?
yeah, LaDainian Tomlinson, 2006, Adrian Peterson, 2012. And then, yes, Blake, Sean Alexander, 2005, Marshall Falk was in 2000.
Yeah. So not anytime recently.
Yeah, and you have
Right.
to think Adrian Peterson
Are we
was his
due?
entire offense.
Bro, even
I
mean,
TJ
to add
2K,
to this,
LT
yeah,
scored
I think we're
32
due.
touchdowns and threw for 2 more. Like, there's no current modern day running back that's going to be putting up 30 touchdowns.
I think Brees could do it.
I hope so. I
Brees
hold
Hall.
Brees. I'm holding Brees, bro. I hope so.
I hate you both because I want Brees.
Let's
got
move
Brees
into
and
our
Bijan.
second super spicy take.
So does Blake.
JJ,
Yeah, that's
hit
me.
me
Hey,
with
what's up, bud?
that super spiciness.
Oh, that's super spicy. Level 10. Okay, let's see here.
Shout out to the Cocos fans.
Okay, this is awesome because you brought up Dontavian Wicks is going to have the most receiving yards. Is that correct?
Whatever comes next is poop. Go ahead.
It's not poop. It's good poop.
Got my
It's good
challenge
shit.
flags
It's
ready.
good shit. Listen here. Romeo Dobbs
Double challenge flags. Throw them up.
is going to lead the Green Bay Packers receiving room in 2024.
I guess I'm gonna do one and say Jaden Reed is gonna be the best receiver on the Packers.
And I'll just fucking take Christian Watson while we're at it, bro. I'll take Christian Watson.
All right.
Oh,
So we got it
all
right
right,
here.
all right. Let's just have this argument. Let's just have it out. Let's have
Christian
it out.
Watson,
I'm
Well, I
ready.
Ten
want to leave
catches,
this.
1,000
This
yards.
is gonna. I got Dontavian Wicks. Ty, you got Christian Watson. JJ, you took Romeo Dobbs.
Mhm.
Montavious, you took Jaden Reed. I'd love to see where this finishes out at the end of the year.
So I think we need to make a bet on this. All
Let's put
four
some
of us.
shots on it. I'll tell you what. We
Yeah.
have 1 through 4.
3 shots.
Whoever places fourth takes three shots. Third takes 2. Second takes 1. First gets to watch everyone else suffer. Or
And
enjoy.
a celebratory shot as well.
Well,
I
they
think
can take as
this-
many as they want because they're the winner.
Okay, well, I'll probably do that because I'm going to win.
Oh, you think so?
It's Romeo, baby. It's Romeo. These are my spicy, super spicy takes.
I love
And
it.
Romeo, listen, Romeo had 11.42 yards per catch last year, 8 touchdowns. So did Jaden. I mean, Jaden had 8 touchdowns, is what I mean. So did Jaden. Jaden had 793 receiving yards and led the receiving room in his rookie season. No, man. I think it's time. It's time for Romeo to take his rightful place. That's all I have to say. You guys can make your arguments.
Ty,
Do
what
we
do you
have
think?
yards per route run? Because that's
Let
what
me
I'm
look that up
interested
for
in
you. Go
seeing.
ahead.
Yeah, if you have that in front
Keep
of you.
working.
Yeah,
Let me look that stuff up for you.
because I mean yards per catch is great, but you could have 1 catch for 40 yards and have a 40 yards per catch. I want to see how many times they were targeted per route run, yards per route run. Because I'm taking Christian Watson just because hey, he's been working on his hammies, bro. You know, he's fast. He scores those big time tutties. He could have 10 catches for 1,000
His
yards.
hammies aren't even the same size. He's broken in many ways.
Yeah, but he could have 10 catches for 1,000 yards, and there's nobody else on the Packers I believe in to do that. So I love Christian Watson's game just because I like that flashy receiver that can get you that 80-yard touchdown.
We
But
just saw that out of Dontavian Wicks. Good talk.
In the preseason, bro. In the preseason.
It was against backups. All
Yeah.
right.
Jermaine Burton just scored a tutty in the preseason too, and you don't see me crowning him as the MVP of the Bengals.
JJ's got his statistics. Send it.
Yeah, I really want to hear
Oh,
this.
it's not juicy, but Dobbs 1.32 yards per route run was 63rd among those same 107 qualifying receivers.
Okay.
However, his 8.1% first down per route run was more promising. He was 39th out of 107 receivers.
All right. So if you're in a points per first down league, check him out.
Dontavian Wicks, yards per route run, 2.07, yards per reception, 14.9.
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
See, this is that stuff that those average fantasy football players need to start looking at.
Don't worry. I'm telling y'all the truth here.
Where's Christian Watson?
Well, I think that's a great point. Let's go ahead and pull that up real quick.
Fucking 103. It's going to be 103.
Christian Watson, 1.58 yards per route run. That's a crazy mouthful. True catch rate of 90%. I don't like that.
Because it spells doom for you?
Because, yikes. And, okay, we'll do Jaden Reed just to make Montavious happy, I guess, if he wants to participate.
I already forgot what the other numbers were. I just know Christian Watson's going to run it.
However, Jaden Reed yards per route run was 3.52.
Monty won.
That's impressive. We will see what happens. Let's jump into our third super spicy take. Montavious, set it off.
All right, in my take, I got C.J. Stroud in his sophomore year will lead the Texans to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, this man just went, let's see how spicy we can get here.
Ghost Pepper.
What's after that?
Carolina Reaper.
Nuclear bomb. Like you're on some wild
Scorpion pepper.
Dude smokes crack. Smokes crack. That's why he sends those trades that he does.
Are they going to beat the Washington Commanders in the Super Bowl?
No, I think they're going to play Denver, actually.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're going to find a way to play Denver in the Super Bowl. They're going to have like a AFC versus AFC Super Bowl.
AFC versus AFC.
Easy dub.
Yeah, NFL is going to shift conferences immediately halfway through the season because that's how crazy this take is. I don't even want to throw a challenge flag. What is there like a purple flag that I can throw on some straight bullshit?
What do you mean? Their offense is great. Their defense is solid. Their quarterback is damn near goated already in his sophomore season. What do you mean?
Hang on. I just want to clarify. Did you just say C.J. Stroud, only playing 1 year in the NFL, is goated? ?
Bro, what other rookie quarterback?
Don't backtrack. Answer the question.
Yes.
You said he's goated?
He's like the staple of what a quarterback could be starting out right now.
If he has to go to Kansas City, Cincinnati, or Baltimore in January on the road in the playoffs, in the cold weather outdoors, there is no way that Houston beats any of those three teams. Those three teams...
You won't. Out of the three teams you named, I was only worried about one, and the quarterback's Patrick Mahomes.
You're not worried about Baltimore in January in Baltimore? Snow on the ground?
Lamar Jackson, what's his playoff record?
And then Joey Burke. It's all defense.
Can he finish a healthy season? Not worried about
January in Baltimore, it comes down to defense.
He said he's not worried about Jake Browning in the playoffs. That's what he said.
Yeah, come on now.
You guys are going to love my take.
Let's get through it.
I want to jump over. JJ's quietly over here researching. I want to hear his take on it. Go ahead.
I got the Houston Texans going 12-5, finishing second in the AFC South.
Behind?
The Indianapolis Colts.
So you don't even have them winning the division?
No, I don't.
Oh, Monty.
Is that your hot take? Did you already do your super spicy take? Because
the
Colts go
I'm throwing a challenge flag against this super spicy. Wait, whoa. What? I didn't say they were going 13-4.
Oh, 12-5 with a better divisional record.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
12-5. That's what I did when I went through and I did my whole projections. Indianapolis Colts, I think, have a better, like you said, divisional record. But I think the Colts are actually a better team. Yeah.
Overall, like
And
well-rounded.
thanks. No, Shane Steichen, I think, is going to be up for Coach of the Year, bringing back Jonathan Taylor to his prestige and to the elite levels that he once was. With Anthony Richardson right there, just throwing the rock. I mean, look, I know we're talking. I know I'm bringing up Madden, but this man Blake drafted Anthony Richardson out of my hands. Who I love him. He's my darling. So I think he had like 84 touchdowns that season, something like that. I'm just saying. I know it's Madden, but I really do think that
I could have
the
done that
Colts
with
are a
Sam
better
Darnold.
team, and I don't think main point. Sorry, I do not think C.J. Stroud is going to have a better season than he did last season.
Can we talk about how spicy it is for you to say CJ Stroud in his second year is a challenge flag on going to the Super Bowl? But Anthony Richardson in his second year, after only playing
Thank you.
5 games in his first year,
Thank you.
is going to magically go
Thank you,
12
Ty
and 5
Ty.
in the AFC
Get
South?
him.
I mean, I know the
Yeah.
AFC South.
No, it's not magically. It's not
No.
magically. Tell me where did the Colts finish last season?
You just, in this episode alone, you talked about the Titans have a ton of weapons. We've talked about the Jaguars being a good team. We've talked about now Indianapolis being good, and everybody knows Houston is good.
Okay, hold on.
It's gonna
I
be a
didn't say
murderer's
shit
row.
about the Jaguars being good.
We were talking about Christian Kirk.
Yeah, who the
I don't
fuck
know,
said
bro.
that?
I think the Jaguars are a pretty good team.
The Colts went 9-8 last year with fucking Gardner Minshew. Okay, so yeah, I do think they can go 12-5. Absolutely.
Who knows what Anthony
Yes.
Richardson looks like over a
don't-
17-game season?
I want to touch
I
on
think
one thing real quick.
It looks amazing.
I want to touch on one thing real quick. You said Shane Steichen, Coach of the Year. That's what you said?
Yeah.
I would like to ask Montavious and Tai, who do you think your Coach of the Year is?
You're not going to like my answer.
Don't say fucking Eberflus. I'll lose my mind.
No, it's going to be Zach Taylor, bro. And you'll find out why in about 15 seconds when I answer my fucking super spicy take.
That's a good question. I don't even know.
Okay, I'm going to go. I'm between two of them. I don't want to support the bullshit that was Monty, but I like D'Amico Ryans. I do. I think he's taking that team from nothing to something, basically in a flash. I think he deserves it, and I think we could see that out of Houston. I also think we could see Robert Saleh with the Jets. Has a great defense. They finally have some weapons. If they can do something over there in New York for, the first time in a long time, I think we could see Robert Saleh as well. So those are my two potential candidates for Coach of the Year.
I like it.
It's definitely not Cincinnati, I'll tell you that.
Okay. Clip it.
Because, clip it. Send it. All right, let's move into our last super spicy take of the day. Tai, close us out.
Joe Burrow wins MVP and comeback player of the year this season.
All right, it was
everybody else has talked. Everybody else has.
Yeah, all right.
Everybody else has talked about their teams. I tried my best to stay away from the Bengals, and I told Blake this was going to be my mild take, and he told me it better be my super spicy. So here it is. All right, we got a revamped offensive line, and by that I mean we have a right tackle that isn't the literal last ranked Pro Football Focus right tackle. Okay, we have Trent Brown penned in as the starter with Amarius Mims, who has looked absolutely outstanding in training camp and preseason action so far.
Has looked great.
He has looked great. We have Zach Moss, who is a really great third down running back, pass protecting running back, which Joe Mixon was not good at pass protecting. It doesn't matter how he runs.
That's true.
Running backs don't matter. Okay. As long as they can pass protect, it doesn't matter on the Bengals offense. The Bengals could start me at running back and probably still win 11 games this season. I'd clip it. Sorry, Georgia wanted to take part in the podcast. Did you guys hear that? Um, Chase Brown can catch the ball to the backfield, which Zach Moss is not great at. You have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Mike Gesicki, Jermaine Burton, Andre Yoshivas, all as receiving threats in that offense. The defensive line still has Trey Hendrickson. You still have Logan Wilson. You get Von Bell back. You get DJ Turner. You get Cam Taylor-Britt and another year of experience. That team is going to be outstanding, and I know that I'm a homer saying that. Joe Burrow is Joe Burrow, and everybody seems to forget that. He's the only quarterback to ever have this wrist surgery, and I promise you he's going to come back and be ice cold Slim Shady the entire season. This dude is winning comeback player of the year and MVP. Head it in.
JJ, I have a
Pretty
question. JJ, JJ is
Yeah.
my research guru over here. Has
What do you
any
want from me?
quarterback ever won MVP only playing 11 games in a season?
See, I'm talking.
I'm gonna say no.
Just a thought.
No.
We're going
I
from
don't.
literally.
No.
Hold up. We're going from the 82nd ranked right tackle in the NFL last year to the 11th ranked right tackle in the NFL last year. We get Joe Burrow for 17 games. I'm ready for it.
Oh, fuck.
You want to talk about? Hold up. Browning. Okay, you want to talk about offensive line? That's the biggest. That's the biggest issue in Cincinnati. The Bengals were. Hold up. Jake Browning was number 7 in sacks per game. Burrow was 18th. Browning was 10th in knockdowns per game. Burrow was 6th. Brown was 22nd in times blitzed, and Burrow was 31st in times blitzed. So you want to talk about they're getting blitzed at below the league average and getting hit and sacked way above the league average. Pocket time, Joe Burrow, 2.2 seconds, which was 66th in the NFL. Average time to a pocket collapsing and him getting pressured. Browning was 2.5 seconds, which was good for 19th. And the leaders in that category, actually, in the longest pocket time, I also researched. You got Sam Darnold, Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, Brock Purdy, and Jalen Hurts.
Montavious, I want to hear your thoughts on Joe Burrow. MVP, sorry, not just Joe Burrow, because I don't want you to completely dog this man, but just on him being MVP.
I think the main focus needs to just be Joe Burrow first needs to complete a full season. Like, I don't know. I feel like every year that we revamp the O line. We revamp the O line, and it's like the
and
same story.
every
He gets
year it's
hurt.
gotten better.
Like,
We saw Joe Burrow do a full season, and they went to the Super Bowl.
Did he win MVP?
No, he
he
didn't.
win MVP.
But now he's
Okay,
He's got
cool.
4 years under his belt, 5 years under his belt.
Love that. Great point. We are wrapping things up here. We're going to start with our special guest, Tata. Do you have anything to say to the folks at home before we wrap up?
Don't listen to anything we say because we have no idea what we're talking about.
Love that. JJ, anything?
Yeah, no. Don't listen to him. We're fine.
We're
thanks
good.
for
We didn't say Joe Burrow's going to win the MVP. Montavious,
Act like he's not.
thoughts for the folks at home?
Yeah, make sure. I appreciate y'all having me. Appreciate y'all bringing me to the team. Make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe. Most important.
Y'all know what it is. Smash all them buttons, like, comment, subscribe. JJ, we haven't done it the last couple episodes. What do you want the folks at home to comment on this episode?
I want them to give us some super spicy takes. Let us know what you think, and also how hot were our takes. Were they hot? Were they not that hot? Let me know what your heat palette is like in those comments.
We love it. We'll see y'all next time.